China, which needs large megaprojects to maintain its rapid population growth, has built highways, dams, and bridges like no other. Today, we'll explore China's biggest megaprojects that have reshaped the country. Number 4. The Beipengjian Bridge, which is the highest bridge in the world. It passes Beipengjian Grand Valley and drops 565 meters. The Golden Gate in San Francisco is only 67 meters high. The entire New York One World Trade Center could fit below this bridge to demonstrate its fantastic height. The Beipengjian Bridge transformed a 4-hour commute from Xuanwei in Yunnan to Xuecheng in Guizhou into less than one. Besides its convenience, the bridge offers stunning vistas. Clouds and mist sometimes cover the route due to its height. Mountainous Guizhou province requires large linking bridges like the Beipengjian Bridge. 3 of the world's 5 highest bridges are in this province and China. Mountainside construction has drawbacks. The architects had to raise the bridge to avoid caves and cracking in the Kars Mountains on either side of the valley. Beipengjian Bridge is the highest in the world but not the tallest one. The 343-meter Millau Viaduct in France takes victory. Although the tallest bridge has the highest structure, deck height determines the highest bridge. China is also creating massive underway tunnels and bridges over rivers and mountains. Before seeing this next project, subscribe to LuxLook 365. Currently, only 0.2% of our viewers are subscribed. Please help us get this number to 5% and subscribe to LuxLook 365. Number 3. China's underwater tunnel. China's third biggest freshwater lake, Lake Taihu, is a well-liked vacation spot. China decided to dig underground rather than construct a bridge and ruin the landscape. It is currently one of the world's longest highway tunnels, spanning about 11 kilometers. Jiangsu province in eastern China is home to Lake Taihu. The Taihu Tunnel was constructed to reduce traffic congestion between Shanghai and Nanjing. It links the motorway of Xiangzhou, Suzhou, and Wuxi. Weather concerns would not affect an underground tunnel. Unlike the Beipengjian Bridge, the most significant risk associated with this tunnel is that drivers may become distracted from driving for extended periods on a straight road. For this reason, the road is lined with thousands of LED lights, providing visual stimulation for drivers. There are various methods for building underground tunnels. Simply excavating below the water surface and building the entire structure below ground was how the Channel Tunnel connecting France and England was constructed. Cofferdams were utilized to drain water from the area where the Taihu Tunnel was to be constructed. As a result, the construction area was able to dry up and become isolated from the lake. In other words, their construction site was a dried-up lake bed. The modern cars are traveling at the lake's bottom. There are further ventilation shafts, although they are deceptively hidden on the other side of the lake. A tiny island appears as one of the shafts, a statue fashioned like a conch appears in another, and a boat from antiquity is the disguise of another shaft. Since Lake Taihu is a popular tourist destination, its natural beauty was preserved during the tunnel's design. The Taihu Tunnel is one of the world's longest road tunnels, spanning 11 kilometers. The Lærdal Tunnel in Norway is ranked first. However, China is already considering shattering that record and has suggested building a 90-kilometer railway tunnel between Yantai and Dalian, which would be much longer than the existing record. This is a part of China's silent, high-speed rail revolution, which takes us to our next subject. Number 2. China's massive high-speed rail network. China broke the world record for the fastest bullet train in October 2010. This train covers the 200 kilometers between Hangzhou and Shanghai in less than 45 minutes. China's longest high-speed railway line from Beijing to Guangzhou opened for business 2 years later in 2012. This reduced the length of a 24-hour train trip to 8 or 1/3 of the time. China has been implementing a low-key, high-speed rail revolution since 2008. The nation has finished building 38,000 kilometers of rail. To put this into perspective, the total circumference of the planet is 40,000 kilometers. A contemporary economy can only exist with railroads, which also serve as a symbol of affluence. China has constructed railroads in harsh environments like the Gobi Desert and the ice city of Harbin to connect itself everywhere. Even cities that still need to be constructed have ready-made railway lines. Although the Chang'an New Area has yet to be developed, it is reachable via the Beijing-Chang'an Intercity Railway, which is scheduled to open in 2035. This tactic is comparable to that of European settlers in North America, who constructed railway links for future towns and cities. They're still pushing the boundaries today. The Fuxing bullet train operated without a driver's assistance in January 2022. It was the first driverless bullet train in history. China's railway revolution has rivals, though Japan now holds the record for the fastest bullet train ever at a top speed of 602 kilometers per hour. But China is a class apart regarding the scope and magnitude of its high-speed rail system. China has been building its roads and railroads quickly, but has also started a far more ambitious infrastructure project. China has been progressively joining the space competition, frequently matching and occasionally surpassing the US and Russian space missions. This gets us to the last big project. Number 1. The biggest radio telescope in the world. One of the best astronomers in Chinese history, Nan Rendong, experienced a vision in 1994. Like the US Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico, he wished China had its own radio telescope. China's largest telescopes at the time measured only 25 meters in diameter. Rendong, however, had 20 times more in mind. Rendong and his team spent 10 years looking for a suitable location in southwest China to erect a new radio telescope. Eventually, they discovered the Daodang Depression near the current location of Pingtung. This valley had a bowl shape, which could support the telescope's weight while letting groundwater escape from the location. More than 20 years after the radio telescope's original design proposal, construction on the instrument eventually began in 2016. With a 500-meter diameter and more than 4,000 independently movable aluminum panels, it is now the largest telescope in the world for focusing on radio waves in space. The hilly location was selected based on its relative remoteness and lack of adjacent communities. However, there was some controversy around the initiative, villagers residing close. The location required payment in the form of money or housing. Ironically, this relocation came with a higher price tag, roughly $230 million, than the telescope itself. The telescope is currently being used to study fast radio bursts. These enigmatic flashes last milliseconds, but emit more energy in a year than the sun. China is also curious about what they are. The telescope initially discovered the pulsars in 2017. More than 660 of these have been found since then, with 38 billion samples flowing in from the telescope every second. A cluster of powerful computers creates exact maps of the incoming radio signals. According to some researchers, these signals might be proof of highly developed extraterrestrial life. Regretfully, in 2016, Nan Rendong received a lung cancer diagnosis. In September of that year, he flew 2,000 kilometers from Beijing to Guizhou. Despite this crippling illness, he witnessed the culmination of 22 years of study and research. His death occurred a year later, but this incredible telescope will undoubtedly carry on his legacy. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comment section below about any additional mega projects you want us to discuss in China or abroad. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the following video.